Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I'm Gigi Fruit Loop. What you know?
Did you know that at first Superman was not supposed to fly?
Really?
Yeah, it was like he was just supposed to leap because the leap from one building, leap bounds, whatever. Uh, so I thought that was interesting. He wasn't supposed to fly at first.
Hmm. I
There
wonder what
you go.
wonder what made them think he should fly.
Could have been the cape. I don't know.
Yes, it could have been. Can I just say that Sherlock again has brought another cat into my bed? So I've ordered some of our listeners
I saw that.
have told me to get one of those doggy doors where you put a tag on your dog and it's like I'm paranoid it's going to crush an animal, but I'm going to tell you, strange cats in my bed in the early morning hours. I'm doing something, dude. Cannot deal with this. I've had stern talks with Sherlock, but he's a hit with the ladies apparently.
Yeah.
All right, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Too Cool T-Shirt Quilts. You can go to toocooltshirtquilts.com/pretty lies and alibis. Check out what she can do for you. Don't forget, tomorrow night we've got our live. And is it 7:30?
7.
7. Okay, so 7 o'clock tomorrow night, you will have a chance to win a t-shirt pillow like the ones you can see behind me if you're looking on YouTube. And so the signups, when are they coming down today, I guess?
They're there
Okay. How long do they have to still sign up?
till Friday. Today.
Today's Friday.
Hey, it is. What about that? Today. Yeah.
Welcome.
So, yeah, this evening it would cut off. It would stop this evening.
Okay, so you have a few more hours to go vote for your team
Yep.
and enter your chance to win based on who wins tomorrow night. Really excited. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Yep.
And so, yep, don't forget, set your timer, 7 o'clock tomorrow. Join us live. All right. So Dr. Husel's trial is running a little bit behind schedule. They were supposed to have had 11 witnesses up so far, and they're at 4. Yesterday was mainly pharmacists that testified. Not a whole lot new. They all kind of echoed each other. So there's not much to update on that. And as of 5 minutes ago, the closings in Curtis Reeves are still going on. We expect the jury to get that case any minute now. We are going to be on verdict watch very soon. If a verdict comes down today, we're going to put out a YouTube short on that because it's not going to be enough for a whole episode. And we'll talk about the verdict on a later episode. But we're thinking maybe we have a verdict today. It's Friday. These juries want to be done. And there's no limit on how long they can deliberate. So I think they want to put this baby to bed. So we decided today to just pull some different news things we haven't covered to bring to y'all. So we're going to start with Barry Morphew. If you're new to us, we just finished up the whole arrest affidavit, so you can go catch up on that. And we still have a lot to catch up on this case. But for now, Barry had a 5-hour long hearing on Thursday, and defense attorneys asked the judge to dismiss the case, saying that prosecutors have mismanaged the case and they've missed deadlines that were set by the judge, including witness lists that were due this month. So only one member of the prosecution team attended yesterday's hearing, and they were 30 minutes late arriving to court, which is not good. I mean, 30 minutes is, you're wasting a lot of people's time. So sounds like prosecution needs to get their ducks in a row.
Yeah.
The judge did not rule on the motion to dismiss, saying that there are pending motions that need to be ruled on first. And kind of switching gears to trial, Fremont County plans to send out 1,000 jury summons in the next few weeks, and jury selection is expected to last several days. His trial's coming up April 28th, so we're getting there. Just a little over 2 months away. Will not be televised. I'm super bummed, but we're going to follow
Right?
who are in the courtroom so we can follow this one close.
Did we ever figure out why?
It's just the judge. Like Letitia's, I don't know if it's a Colorado thing, but like Letitia's, I don't think is going to be streamed either. I'm not sure why, but as far as I know, neither one of those are going to be able to be watched live, which stinks because when we're covering trials, I like to be able to sit and make notes on the actual testimony. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you can find good people that are in there that are thorough, especially on Twitter. People keep it updated. So the defense has sent subpoenas to the director, deputy director, and the head of the major crimes unit for the Colorado Bureau of Investigations. Former CBI agent Josh Cahill, who we heard about a lot in that arrest affidavit, he resigned in December after an accidental discharge of a gun while off duty at his house. Because of that accidental discharge, he had a self inflicted gunshot wound to his hand.
Ooh.
He's also accused of lying to investigators 4 different times about what actually happened with that discharge. And allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, all this stuff is allegedly. He purchased a new gun light to cover the lie he told to another CBI agent when he was being interviewed about this discharge. The judge also denied a motion to include prior alleged acts of domestic violence in the trial. And so the next hearing on this is going to be March the 4th. So we're getting there, guys. I don't think this will be delayed. I think we're going in April.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't you tell us what's new in the Duggar case?
So here we go, Josh Duggar. On February 24th, the defense filed a motion to extend time to file objections regarding Josh's request for acquittal or a new trial. This is related to the prosecution's 30-page response from February 11th, which we went over, where they argue Josh should not have a new trial or be acquitted. The prosecution did not object to the extension, and a new deadline for objections is set for March 4th. And Josh is scheduled to be sentenced on April 5th.
Yeah. So we know that this motion came kind of at the deadline to be able to
Mm-hmm.
file post trial motions. I don't think it'll go anywhere. Everything that I've read, though, it seems like he is only facing 20 years in prison. And I'm not sure. We've discussed this. I think federal sentencing guidelines for a first time offender, maybe 5 to 7 years is what he'll get. I hope the judge throws the book at him. People like him will reoffend the minute they're out.
Mm.
And unfortunately, 5 to 7 years, I mean, him and Anna could still pop out a few kids before she hits the big menopause. So scary, scary stuff. Now let's switch over to Murdaugh because Fitz News put out the jailhouse calls between Alec and a couple of his brothers and his son Buster. So let's start talking about that one.
So in a call to his brother, John Marvin, on January 4th of this year, Alec asked him to have someone, and it was a woman, put $60 on another inmate's books. And this is not supposed to happen, right?
No, it's not allowed.
Alex said he personally is having to order ibuprofen because he's exercising, and a week supply is $15, and he can only do this weekly. So they are putting ibuprofen on this other inmate's account who doesn't get canteen. He told his brother he needs this to be done right now. That's weird.
Well, they mark it up some ibuprofen though. $15 for a week supply.
No, you can get 200 tablets at Walmart for like $4.82.
But you can if you're into pokey.
Oh,
that's what the problem is.
Follow the law. So whoever Alec is talking about, who is sending the money to him, is supposed to be keeping a tally so Alex can pay her back. Alec asks how long she will be, and John says 4 to 5 minutes. He says they have 10 to 15 minutes to get the order in. Well, they jumpy. You better get it in. They start talking about his defense team. Alex says he thinks they will sit and wait until they bring more charges against him. He asks if John has spoken to their other brother, Randy. And John asks if Alec knows about the law firm. And he says no. So John tells him the law firm has dissolved due to bad publicity. Dun, dun, dun. Alec asks what it's called, and John says Parker Law Firm. Alec says he hates their having to do all that and asks if there's anything he can do to help, and John says no. John tells Alec that his old college roommate and someone who was in on the Satterfield settlement was fired. John tells Alec a difference could be made if he accepted responsibility for things and named who didn't do anything.
And I didn't put the guy's name, and I can't remember, but it was his old college roommate.
Corey Fleming?
I'm sorry, y'all. kind of threw this one together quickly. I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that was in the Satterfield stuff.
Yeah. So John said everyone is implicated as of right now, and that's just the word on the street. And he says that nothing has been said in any kind of an official capacity. Alex said one of the things he said in court the other day is that his partners didn't know anything about what he was doing. And he asked John if any of that was printed. And John said no, that very little of that was said because the hearing wasn't televised or streamed or recorded. John said he doesn't know if there's any way to give some sort of an official statement that none of the law partners were in on any of the evil deeds.
Let him go. Let him be on Dateline.
I know. We'll get Keith Morrison up in there.
Prison interview.
Yep.
Jailhouse interview.
So Alex said he needs to sit down with them and figure out what he can do. And John says it may not matter, but he thinks all they can do, that's all they can do. And he's not sure in what manner to try and get some kind of a statement out, I guess, that everybody else wasn't in the know. So in another call, Alec and his brother Randy discussed the detention center and where Alex is being on lockdown a lot. And Alex said a lot of it's because of understaffing and not due to COVID. And he said, at least that's what they tell us. He said that when there's fights, that all the correction officers have to go to where the fight is, and they just lock everybody else down in the process. Alex said, I've got some stories to tell when I get out of here. And Randy says he can't imagine. And Alex said, no, you really can't. And I just think it's cute that he thinks he's getting out.
Yeah.
Randy asked Alec if he's spoken to Jim or Dick, which are his attorneys, about filing for bankruptcy. And he said it's almost like he's in it now and he's only experiencing the bad aspect of bankruptcy and not any of the good aspects of being bankrupt. Alex said they've discussed it, but there's some timing issues and they have written a memo about it. But there's something that's supposed to give you sort of a quick turnaround in being able to declare bankruptcy. But Alex said he knows that the judge would just deny it. And he talks about how cases like his usually have a bond and it may be a high amount, but it's there. And you can file, there's a certain thing you can file. Totally can't say it. Not even going to attempt it.
I think it's habeas corpus.
Since the charges aren't capital, but they're civil. And Alex says it's supposed to be expedited. And the attorney general had 10 days to respond to that. But Alec also said he's not getting his hopes up about anything because normal rules do not apply to him. So the last call that we hear is with Buster. This kind of cracked me up a little bit. So Alec was asking when they got back into town. This is in regards to when we saw that picture of Buster in Vegas gambling with Alec's brother. So Buster says they flew into Charlotte since it was cheaper and they flew on Spirit Airlines. I'm about to say airlines. Oh, Lord have mercy. Alex asked how that went, and Buster said it was better than he expected, and they both kind of laughed. And Buster said the seats don't recline because they can sit more people that way. And he says flying on Spirit was just different. Now, we've seen pictures of them on private jets going to football games and big bowl games and traveling. So, they're having...
this is what the common folk are.
This is what us commoners do. We fly budget and sometimes drive to Charlotte so we don't have to pay out the wazoo to fly from Greenville or even Charleston. It's still a regional airport,
Yeah.
So do you want to keep going?
Sure. So Alec asked if he got to gamble any, and Buster tells him he did. And the next day, that's the photo of him and John Robert at the table in Vegas. It got out to the press saying he was misusing funds, and Alec was surprised. He asked how they recognized him, and Buster said because he's a national figure. He says, I guess you're going to have to wear a hat when you go places. He asked Buster if he has that thing set up, and Buster said yes, and he prepaid $50, so it should be good on his end. Sounds like they're talking about prepaid for phone calls or something. He tells Buster he won't keep him, but to stay on John Robert about that stuff from Mark Ball and something about funds being put on something. And Buster said it would be done in the morning. And Alex says, so Mark's going to do it. Buster says, yes, they're writing a check in the morning and will apply at Palmetto State to apply it. Alex says, how can they fuss when everything is being applied to the bank? And Alec asks how much they put on it, and Buster says a couple of tens of thousands. He said he is selling off equipment. Buster asked about another bond hearing in the morning, and Alex said he doesn't know if he's going to have a hearing or if the judge will just rule based on documentation. And then they talk a little about football and baseball, and that's it.
Yeah, so it was interesting to hear. I have to say, he didn't sound like he was depressed or crazy upset about where he's at. Maybe he's accepted that. At the same time, he's still talking about when he gets out of here. So
Yeah,
clearly, you got those blinders on that, I guess you have to hold on to hope in situations like this. But man, he's such a villain. I mean, these crimes, we don't know of any violent crimes yet. We still haven't heard about the murder investigations that are going on. But man, what he's done to people, I have no sympathy for this guy.
yeah,
Taking money from families that are grieving, that need the help, and flying on their private jets when they can afford it. So, whatever. We still have a lot to catch up on this case. We've had several people wanting us to do a live on Murdaugh, just talk
yeah,
about things. So we're going to start thinking about that maybe for next month. But this is kind of all we have for today. We just wanted to update on some of these cases we're following. Keeping an eye on the Curtis Reeves trial. As soon as that verdict comes across, we'll put it on social media and do a quick YouTube short. And we will pick back up with Dr. Husel next week. And don't forget, tomorrow night, 7, join us for the live. We'll put the link out tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday and you guys be good.